Hello everyone and welcome to Issliss Season 1. My name is Veronica Ripley. I am the creator of Issliss and I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome everyone. Hi. Today's episode is going to be a very special one. And before we get into it, I just want to talk really quickly about a couple of things. First of all, Fable Scraps has a merch store now. So if you want to get a sweet hoodie like this one, then all you got to do is head over to merch.fablescraps.com and it could be yours. So check it out. There's also tons of other stuff too. There's mugs. We have mugs and stickers and all kinds of stuff. So check it out. merch.fablescraps.com. We've also got a Discord community. If you like TTRPGs, specifically really cool TTRPGs that are brand new and completely distinct from other more popular TTRPGs, head over to the Discord server. That's fablescraps.com/Discord. And if you want to play Issliss at home today, then all you got to do is head over to fablescraps.com and sign up for the newsletter. It'll get you a link, and then you can play Fables. You can play Issliss at home with our free quick play guide. It's got art and lore and pre-generated characters and a whole new encounter for you to run. It's really easy to learn and it's super fun, so check it out. I just had the pleasure of running a bunch of these games at PAX West, and if you were there, say hi. If you're listening to the show on VODs, or if you're listening to the show on podcasts, just know that we have this show live every Friday at noon Pacific here at twitch.tv/fablescraps. And if you can't catch us live, that's totally fine. Our VODs are available here, they're on YouTube, and everywhere that podcasts are consumed. So, before we get started, I would like to introduce our cast, our lovely cast. First up, we have Candacethemagnificent as Grizz.
Hi.
Hello. Next up, we have Chelseabytes as Pippet.
Hi.
We have Techniq as Pliers.
Hello.
Domestic Dan will be out for today. I would like to start today's episode with a quick little recap of what happened last time. The party had just defeated what's known as a rascal swarm, just a massive, icky, like gooey mass of rabbit. It has been a very long time since humans invaded Issliss, and when we invaded, we brought a lot of things with us, and one of those things was rabbits. Rabbits have changed a little bit in the span of time, and one of these little types of rabbits is called a rascal, and they form these big, goopy masses, and they feed on cult plant, a huge spiky plant that's like a little toxic, and they're just covered in ick. The cell was able to defeat this large rascal swarm, and now you have marched gracefully up this little hill. You can see before you a aqueduct, way off in the distance. There's a little trail, and you have two options before you. You can make your way towards the aqueduct. You can go back to Arcadia Farms and report your job well done. The choice is yours. What do you do?
Well, that was quite the battle. That seems curious. That way.
Yes, if we go back and report what happened, we might not be able to return out here at all. Pending.
That's true, and I've already gotten some, remnants. They shake their little, satchel of bunny and cult leavings.
Most excellent. I feel like we might be able to go on an adventure. They probably think that we're dead.
This is true. What about, Leef? We send him back, or...?
Oh.
You look around and cannot find Leef.
What?
Leef? Oh my. Well, I'm sure they're capable of taking care of themselves. We'll find them soon enough.
And we're going forward, I guess?
They
I
should.
should say so.
Okay.
I lead the way.
All right.
I'm feeling very emboldened from my last fight.
Okay.
As you should.
The last fight that you had, of course, was where you used this massive glaive and just kept pounding these horrible little rabbits into the dirt. It was disgusting. Sure, so the party makes your way. That's not it. That's not it either. Nope. The party makes your way across this hilly terrain towards a small road that leads out of town. You can see to the right of you massive walls around what is known as Arcadia Farms, and before you lies an open road. You are sort of surrounded on either side by trees, and your road ahead appears to veer off in some directions, but you have a pretty good idea that it's going to go away from town at least. So, what do? You keep going? Mm-hmm. Do we know where we're going?
No. We'll just
Towards
follow.
the aqueduct.
Towards the aqueduct.
Towards the aqueduct for sure.
Okay. All right, it's going to take a little while. Do you have anything to discuss?
I think Grizz has their head on a swivel. She's looking everywhere to see if there are any people or any more swarms of things coming at them. She doesn't want to get caught out
Sure.
like they kind of were last time.
Alrighty. Roll me a detect check. Are you trained in detect at all?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm proficient in detect, and I have a +6.
Fantastic. So roll me a 3d6, please.
I turned off the glowy, but it's
Fantastic.
Still pretty glowy.
Yeah, that works. That's a 13 plus 6, you said? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You notice way ahead of you, you can see a corpseman. You can't quite identify who, but you can absolutely see a corpseman.
We do see someone coming up ahead. Yes.
Oh. Does any of you know how to, sweet talk any of these, corpsemen?
You see a slow smile spread across Grizz's face. It's like they get really excited. Yes, I can finally be useful. Please, just leave it to me.
As
They
expected.
kind of like, they pick up their pace a little bit and start to kind of head so that they're kind of at the front of our party.
Sure. As you get a little closer, you begin to realize that the corpseman standing in the road is standing there facing you. You realize that this corpseman is none other than Ingman, the interpreter for Arcadia Farms.
Oh, great.
I regret everything.
Are we close enough to approach?
Oh, yeah.
Ingman, excuse me. Hello.
Ah, I see we're out enjoying the fine air out here, yeah? Getting a little walk in.
Well, we just came from that problem in the orchard and wanted to perhaps see if there's more information about what led those creatures over near us.
Well, I'll overlook the obvious idea that I certainly wouldn't want to believe that any of you would be trying to form some kind of escape. But
Escape?
I would certainly like to bring forth a proposition, if you are so inclined.
I should say so.
Well, as it so happens, not only has the cult plant been decimated by whatever it was out there, but it seems as though the aqueduct from Baldwin's Folly has similarly been tampered with. Now, I'm not gonna throw any blame around, cast any aspersions, but this is a problem that we will need to deal with. Now, I have a job for you.
We love being useful, so yes, please tell us more.
Of course you do. I need you to go on out to Baldwin's Folly and see what's poison in the aqueduct.
Well, I suppose we're right on our way then.
We'll need it
Chris does
fixed
kind of
as...
like a little half curtsy.
Sure. We'll need it fixed as soon as possible. So,
If I may cut in before we do anything, I would like for you to sign on these dotted lines here, there, and there. And yes, can I see your finger?
I don't have a pen on me.
Your finger ado, can I have it, please? Yeah.
What, you can't have my finger. No,
okay,
you
can
may
I just
not.
see your finger then?
You would want to see my finger?
Yeah, just put your hand right here. Come. You're asking us to do dangerous stuff.
All right. I don't see no... All right, yeah, Ingman puts his finger out.
Great, I'll prick his finger. There you go. And, yeah, sign there, and, there.
Prick his finger to draw blood? Mm-hmm. I would like you to roll initiative.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was like, okay.
Ah, what?
It'll be okay. You've had worse. You will have worse if things go wrong. So if you would sign here, this secures you and us.
Grizz, I would like you to make me a persuasion human roll, if you could. That's a 3d6 for you. That's a 14 plus.
That is a 14 plus 7.
Ah, so you get 21. You see 21. That Ingman is fighting every urge to just murder all of you. Just do everything he can to murder all of you. Fighting every urge. Do it.
I think Grizz, knowing that there's only one of him and 3 of us in that moment, just gives a very kind of lugubrious smile. Just like deepens their just grimace on their face.
Now it's very simple. You go to Baldwin's Folly, see what is poisoning the aqueduct, and you report back to me when you are done.
Sure, did you sign?
Yes.
Awesome, great. Would like to let you know that, my clients would like to know everything that's going on in reports, and as long as you stay within reasonable humanity, I should say, the reports won't be bad. They'll be in your favor. We'd like for you to stay in charge. Yes. But we also want to make sure that no one gets blamed for things that are not their problems, such as us and you. This is both protection and back and forth, you see. I'm a very reasonable man.
Well, maybe if you are all successful, you'll see your little friend again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot to do.
Ingman, before you go, you had asked to make sure that we procured some kind of evidence of what happened in the orchard. And I take his bloody hand and I just mash this pile of goop and entrails and cult trash into it.
Okay. I think I see where you're going with it. Can I get you to roll me a 1d6, Grizz? Okay, you rolled a 6.
6.
Excellent. I am also going to roll a 1d6 for Ingman. And that's a 1. Okay. Yeah, Ingman recoils. Ow! Rascal?
Indeed. A lot of them. But we took care of it. Leef took care of it. Pippet took care of it.
Ugh.
So you'll definitely want to make sure that you're always on our good side, as we should be on yours, yes?
I nod in agreement.
I have a lot.
Squeeze his hand a little bit.
I have a lot to
That's
do.
holding the...
I will see you all again.
Yes, you will.
Hangman turns around and leaves. And just still like gooping just shaking his hand off of all the goop.
I think the second that he turns his feet, that like dark intensity that Grizz is like emanating lifts, and they just go back to, well, time to explore that aqueduct, and now we don't even have to be nervous about it.
Most excellent.
Well done, and I have everything in writing, so to speak. Before I forget, and I'll take out a tube and take out something and try to get any remnants of the blood particles inside that tube. Perfect. And I'll hand it over to Pippet. There you go. May need that later, just in case.
Oh, you are very astute, Pliers.
Yeah.
Very astute. I love this. I'll file this away immediately.
Awesome. All right. Lead the way.
Okay. So you're all on your way towards the aqueduct. Down this road, you're sort of surrounded on all sides by these tall, thick trees. They're dense and spiky, and there's tall grasses, and it gets a little darker as you're walking through this forest. What do you do?
Oh. It seems that time is absolutely not on our side. Should we make camp?
I think so. I don't know that I want to just walk around out here with nothing.
It is, I should specify,
And
it is only darker because there are trees around you. It's not darker because
okay.
it's getting dark
right.
out. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
I was gonna say when people, if you were done.
I rub my glasses and I say, oh, my bad. I see very clear now.
Like a bird, you put a bag on your head and just believe it's
Yep.
night.
We need a light source.
Okay. I'll turn on my little light. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so are you leading the pack, Flyers?
I'll walk beside.
Okay,
Pippet.
sure.
Never in the front.
I'm absolutely about this.
Awesome. Okay, so you're all walking along this road, and eventually the trees begin to clear. And what you see in front of you is a huge stone structure. It appears to be a wall. You can hear the slow trickle of water on the other side of it. The road leads along the side of this big stone wall, and you know that at the end of this road will probably be Baldwin's Folly.
Pippet will wonder what she knows about Baldwin's Folly.
Sure, you could do let's take a little look here. What skill would be relevant for you to know about this? Maybe lore? You can make me a lore check. In fact, you know what? You can all make me a lore check.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the pressure's off me now.
Alright, where is this lore?
I don't think that any of you are trained in lore.
I am.
Oh, you are? Oh, wow. All right, go ahead and everybody make me a lore check.
Wonderful.
I got a 21.
Wait, is there any way we can press the lore, or do we have to actually put it in?
You have to actually type it in, sorry, yeah.
So if it says 5, you do 1d5?
No, would be one, if you're not trained, it's 1d2, right?
Okay.
Sorry, no, it's 2d6, I'm so sorry, right? Because it's a d6 dice, but you only get 2 dice if you're not trained in it. But if you're trained, if you're proficient in that skill, you get 3d6.
7.
Okay. All right,
Also
well,
a 7.
Grizz,
but
you
plus 3.
you would know a little bit of history about Baldwin's Folly for sure. You would know that in the previous era, the previous aeon, Baldwin was a human being who had instigated a number of rebellions. During this period of time, human beings were used by the Kasat for mining, predominantly in this region. And once human beings began to uncover a dangerous plague called the Felnir Plague, the entire region was put under lockdown, and human beings were corralled into these cities, these small towns, human boroughs, right? And firebombed, to contain the spread of this plague. And Baldwin was maybe the most important human figure in a human rebellion that was started during this time. Baldwin was eventually, you would know that Baldwin was eventually killed by Kasat soldiers, and Baldwin's lieutenant, Reed, was also killed. And it was around this region where this event took place. You probably wouldn't know much more beyond that, but that's what you know.
I recount all that information to the rest of the party, but as a story.
Sure.
Fascinating. Most fascinating.
Yes, so it seems quite fitting that they would send the likes of us here to explore, I suppose.
I believe because we're already outside.
Well, we must be careful, is what I mean. I don't think anyone knows what happened to the area outside of that plague. Hopefully that's not what we're about to stumble on now. Remnants.
Oh, that is most unsettling. But the opportunity to gather samples, I cannot deny that sounds very exciting. We should move forward.
All right. So the cell is continuing down the road. Along the side of you lies this massive stone wall. You can still hear the trickle of water. And you're walking along this road. The stone begins to get lower and lower and lower as you're going along. And eventually, it becomes sort of like a canal, right? So like a river alongside you. But it is very clearly man-made and lined in stone and stuff. I think, Grizz, you would probably also know that as part of this human rebellion, when it was finally quelled, human beings were forced to build this canal. So this is a huge punishment for humans. It took a very long time and a lot of humans perished.
Do we see any markings like within the stone or like paint or anything like that on the area? Like anybody has taken the time to either carve something in here or leave a message for the next person that happens upon it at all?
Yeah, make me a detect check, any of you. You can all make me a detect check.
Okay. Wait, where's my mouse? Okay, so
16.
If you're trained, you get 3 dice, right?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So it'll be a D3.
Efficient.
Under vector, you use the vector, or do you use?
Under your skill, where it says detect,
Yeah.
if it's got a check next to it, that means you're trained in it. You're proficient in that skill. You get to roll 3d6. But if it doesn't have a check mark, you're not proficient in it, and you only get 2.
Okay. And then you add the plus. Okay. So it's 17 plus 4.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, as you're walking along, you take a quick look down at this stone, and you can, if you look really closely, you can kind of see some scratches and marks in it. If you stop to take a quick look, you'll see messages, short snippets of people's lives. Tell my wife I love her. I miss my kids. I just want to be home. That sort of thing.
I think Grizz runs their fingers over all of them And when they turn back to the other of you, their eyes are kind of welling a little bit. This is definitely something that inspires a lot of fear and a lot of bad feelings, but it's also a really beautiful piece of remembrance and a reminder that maybe things don't always have to be this way.
If there's one thing that I know, the Kasat know how to effectively herd their cattle.
Well, I plan on staying on the good side of the Kasat. Be quite honest.
As do I.
I just wonder, can they be reasoned with? Do they
I believe so.
understand that there's more to us than just obedience, that we can work together?
I believe that's exactly why they keep us in the position they do, because they know we're capable of possibly doing more than we should be able to.
Grizz, I may have to remind you, while our characters are tested every day, remember when you have these thoughts, you could easily be a part of that.
And I'll look back at the canal.
It's best just to stay in your lane.
Yes, it's something that, I've gotten quite good at hiding, but moments like these, they appeal to, well, my less calm and obedient side.
I understand. When I was on the battlefield, things tend to blur, and whether there were injured Kasat or people, they all wailed the same. All of them.
Yes, well, for now we shall do as we're told, yes?
Absolutely.
Well, if you insist, yeah, of course.
It's been a little while now. You've gone a pretty significant distance, and you're beginning to feel it in your legs. You're all getting a little bit, not exhausted, but you're starting to feel the walk. Sun is getting a little bit more directly overhead. It's been a long day for all of you. So, as you're walking with the canal on one side and the woods on the other, you begin to hear some movement. I would like everyone to make me a detect check.
All right. Yeah, here it is. It's a 15 after
15?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Pliers, you definitely hear something just off the road. And it sounds like it's getting closer.
Prepare yourselves. Something's coming.
Does it sound like us or like them?
It sounds kind of fast. Tree! And I'll just roll behind the tree as fast as I can there.
You're taking cover?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I'll do the same.
Same.
Do any of you like ready a weapon?
I always have
My glaive is
game.
out.
Everybody's got like armed to the teeth.
Strapped.
I'm probably the less imposing one, because it just looks like a walking cane, so I'm just,
Okay.
yeah. Well, if something happens, I can go out and distract, and you two can take action.
What a plan. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tank anything. Okay, here they come.
Suddenly you hear a whoa, don't, what are you doing? Stop. I'm not gonna hurt you. You see a figure stand up from the grass. It's a woman who looks a little rough. She's got a big scar down the side of her face. She's got some bruises visibly, but she's wearing some kind of tight tighter clothing. Well, normally what you're used to seeing in the Platelands is like long flowing fabrics, but her outfit seems to be like it's kind of tight against her body. Like she still has all that other stuff, but she's seems to be wearing some kind of like armor even. With a lot of like buckles and bits and belts attaching little satchels and vials to her.
I'm assuming that she got us before we ran off, correct?
Yeah.
I have my glaive out, and I'll point it directly at the person and say, "State your business. Who are you?"
Oh, whoa. It's okay. My name is Twill. I'm Twill. It's good to meet you. I'm really sorry about scaring you. I wasn't sure if you were corpsemen or not. I don't think you are, right?
If we were corpsemen, then you understand the proper procedure. You show your papers, you introduce yourself loudly and prominently. Why are you sneaking around?
Twill looks to you, Grizz, and just says, "She's not a corpseman, is she?"
No. None of us are, but...
Okay.
I mean, she's not wrong. You don't seem to be following procedure. And you don't seem to be, dressed like us.
Well,
Who are you?
I'm not following procedure. My name is Twill, and I think you might be the ones they're looking for.
I look around.
Not here. Further up the road, sorry. There's a lot of corpsemen up there. There's like 11 or 12 of them, and they're all like waiting for someone. I assume that it's you. They said that they're looking for 3, quote, suspicious people, and that they're gonna kill them, so...
We were sent here by, their overseer, Ingman. He asked us to come out here and check what's wrong with the aqueduct.
Oh.
I get even more suspicious.
Yes.
You seem to know quite a bit about us, but we know nothing of you.
Well, I don't really know what to say. My name's Twill. I came from that way. Oh, I'm
where
Twill from
is
that
that
way.
way?
Well, here's the thing. Come here. Come off the road just for like 1 second.
I go, but I don't lower my sling.
Okay, that's fine. No, you can keep
I'll
that
follow
up.
behind.
That's totally fine. You can keep that up. I'm not gonna hurt you. I just off the road a little bit so the corpsemen don't see us together. So here's the thing. I came from Coward's Pass. It's a little bit beyond Baldwin's Folly. It's up. You see those mountains way out there? She points to a big, in the distance, there's these big purple mountains with white caps on them. You see, the Durston Mountains are right there. There's a pass that goes through called Coward's Pass. And I just came from there, so I'm a little bit beat up. And I gotta make a really good time because of a lot of reasons, and I happened to go right by Baldwin's Folly, and I came across a bunch of corpsemen, and they were all talking about how they're waiting for 3 people, suspicious people, and I think that's you. And I'm just letting you know.
And who are you with? Where did you come from? Do you have a camp?
I don't.
Because you're certainly not from the farms.
I don't have a camp. No, I'm not from the farms. No, not at all. That's Arcadia Farms, right? Further that way?
Yes.
I won't be going there. That's awful. Did you come from Arcadia Farms?
Did you see anything else suspicious along your way?
No, not that. Not really. No. You can do
You didn't?
You can do a persuasion human check. Whoever wants to try to be the most persuasive person here, you can make a persuasion check with Twill.
I'm gonna roll just to see what happens.
Okay. And what's your modifier for that?
A 7. So
Okay.
16.
16. Pivot, are you trained and are you proficient in persuasion?
I am.
Oh my god, both of you. Okay, great. So, yeah, both of you are like staring Twill down, and she goes, okay, look, I'm gonna level with you, okay? I'm not gonna hurt you. I don't mean you any harm. I'm not trying to set you up or anything. I literally just came from Coward's Pass because I stole something, and I am being followed by some corpsemen, I think, and they're a little ways behind me, like maybe half a day. So I gotta make really good time, and I came through Coward's Pass, and it's true, I did see a bunch of corpsemen waiting at Baldwin's Folly, and I thought maybe that the corpsemen from Reed's Redoubt had like sent a Queen song and they'd set up an ambush for me, but it wasn't for me. They said that they wanted 3 suspicious people, and it was very confusing for me because I thought that they were waiting for me, but they're not. And I don't know, maybe they're from Arcadia Farms, maybe they're for you.
Well, I turn to the group and I say, well, this is very useful information, and we should absolutely avoid that group. We'll have to confer with Ingman when we return.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're gonna return to Arcadia Farms?
We have a job to do, and while some of us do not follow protocol, we will sit and actually follow through on ours.
Mm-hmm.
Those
With the
corpsemen.
information you've provided, we'll choose the next best course of action.
Those corpsemen are gonna kill you.
You let us worry about that.
Grizz hears this person talking about this, like, other existence and this other life, and is, like, super stuck on it. Again, where do you come from? Where are you returning to with your stolen merchandise? What did you take and why? I'm sorry, Pivot. I know these aren't the questions I should be asking, but I need to know.
Okay. I'm from Lemoret. I'm from Lemoret, and I grew up there, and I have a lot of friends in Lemoret, and look, I went to Reed's Redoubt because I needed something. Okay. I needed something. In Reed's Redoubt, there's a museum, and it's not a big museum. It's just like it's in the corporate development office. I'm sorry, it's in the Royal Development Office in Reed's Redoubt, and it's a little museum, and all it has in it in Reed's Redoubt is a bunch of human artifacts. You know, it's just a lot of human history, and I just thought that my friends in Lemoret would really, really want it, so I took a human artifact. Because it doesn't belong to the Cassat. It belongs to humans.
Was that your only motivation?
Yes.
Were you getting paid for this job?
Yes. But it's not about the money.
Quite. You should come with us. Just for the meanwhile, as we
I can't.
hide away.
I can't.
Well, they are looking for 3 suspicious people and 1 thief. They're not looking for 4 medium suspicious people.
If you go to Baldwin's Folly, they will kill you. And it sounds like if you go back, they're gonna kill you there too, because it seems like they just set up an ambush for you.
I walk away from, well, not walk away. I turn to the group. I tell Twill I just put a finger up.
Okay.
And I say,
We can't leave Leef. This does put us in a predicament.
I certainly don't want to leave Leef either, and I'm quite grateful for the time and space that we've had together. They said friends. She has friends where she is. She grew up there. What kind of fairy tale is that?
That is most peculiar. Not something I've ever heard of. Friends. I turn back to Twill and I say, Where are you heading now? What's your next move?
Well, as far away from here as possible. I was gonna go south, I'm not going to Arcadia Farms, that's for sure. That place is awful.
What have you heard about it?
Just that it's the worst labor camp in the Platelands?
And you don't come from a labor camp?
No, I come from Lemuret.
Tell us more of this place.
Of Lemuret?
Yes.
It's a city. It's a big district. It's a Casat district. There's a Queen Song there, there's embassies, and there's an effluvium works and flesh works, and there's tons of neighborhoods for habitation. There's cairns, and it's mostly human. Mostly.
And you're just allowed to live there and have a life. And
well, I mean,
work and
you pay for things with money, yeah. With
money.
well, you know, saints, gents.
Would Pippin have ever heard of such a place?
Yeah. You would probably all know of Lemuret. It's not too far away, and it's far, but it's like you could probably get there, no problem.
Grizz is caught up in like the stark difference between the places that they've been, including this current one, and this this utopian sounding community. Looks to Pippin. I don't want to leave Leef, and we do have things to do. Do you know if there's a way to check the aqueduct without having to encounter those corpsemen?
Yeah, I mean, if you could probably sneak up there, and as long as you were really careful, you're gonna die if you confront them all. I know it.
You've given us very useful information.
Your friend, you're talking about you having like another friend with you?
Well, friend is a stretch, but they've been very useful. In fact, I could say they are a brother in arms.
Well, they weren't a hound, were they?
Oh, we wouldn't call them that. No, that would be quite rude. They're actually a tapper.
So they know the woods real well. Oh, yeah?
Technically, they are a hound.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, they'll know where you are. They'll be able to follow you no matter what. They're a hound. That's what they do.
Well, I mean, what if they're in danger? The person that sent us on this bloody trip was quite intimidating about his status.
Well, I mean, I guess as long as you do whatever it is you came out here to do, they'll probably just let him go. You didn't get anything in writing, did you?
Turns and looks at Pliers.
Well, let me see your hand.
Okay.
I prick it.
Ow, why?
Great. Sign here, 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 and here. Next to the other blood stains.
Okay.
Good. Very nice. All right, great. Oh, and before you do that, I'll squeeze a little bit more and then
Ouch.
the tube. Very good, very good. Don't worry, it'll clot soon. Here you go, Pippin.
I gratefully accept this.
Okay.
I turn to the group and I say,
If what this traveler is saying is true, maybe we need to leave a sign for Leef. Only something that they can understand, and prepare a safe place for us to deal with this folly.
You said they were a tapper?
I did. They're very astute.
Put something up in the tree.
Very smart.
so I'll turn to
my
the group
moments.
if we all agree. Yeah. Wonderful.
Grizz is nodding enthusiastically.
Yeah, I'll do just that and leave. I'll definitely leave something behind for Leef to understand that, all three of us were here. Just something simple like that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. It's, who's gonna climb the tree and leave that in there?
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Not me.
what skill is that?
None of the athletic
Is it
folks are gonna.
bushcraft?
No, it'll be climb. It'll be a climb skill.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. I have +3, so...
you're good.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a climb check.
I mean, good luck.
Oh, you have +3? Oh, okay, yeah, easy. Yeah. You scramble up the tree. It's a little difficult. Like, you haven't climbed a tree in a while, so I mean, it's a little strange. But you scramble up the side of it. It pricks you a little bit, but you're fine. And you start chiseling something into the tree. What do you write there? Is it words? Is it a symbol?
I think I put like a little test tube, like a little glass vial symbol. And then like a little symbol for like the little glasses, like the goggles that Pliers wears.
Okay.
And then I paused for a second thinking like, what's good for Grizz? And I put one of those like gross berries symbol like that.
Okay,
And then an arrow, like kind of a shape that's not specifically an arrow, but is kind of just like 3 markings, like one long one and then 2 short ones on either side, so that they would hopefully intimate that means we've headed that way, in that direction.
Okay, great. You scamper back down the tree, and so it's like, that is great. There's no way that they'll miss that.
You wouldn't lead us in a terrible direction to save your own skin, would you? Grizz gets like a little bit of a glower.
I gain nothing by helping you. It would be an excellent distraction if you walked up to these corpsemen and created a huge scene. That would be an excellent distraction for me. I gain nothing by helping you. But maybe, since I have helped you, maybe there's something you could do for me.
I was going to say kindness, but this sounds more like a trade.
It's not really a trade. See, there's actually a lot in it for you if you do. Because I mentioned earlier that I had potentially taken a human artifact from Reed's Redoubt. However, what I didn't mention is that I no longer have it. And it's because I put it in a cave in Coward's Pass. I stashed it there so that I could go back and get it later, but it doesn't look like I can get back that way because of all the tension now. So I'm going to continue going south, and if you're already going north, then you could just take it. You could just take it. It's up there. I'll mark it right here on your map. And she just leans over and like puts a little mark on your map there. Now look, it's really easy. It's just up in this cave. It's right on if you gotta go down into this cave a little bit, and you make a right and you make a left, and it's behind a couple of rocks. I hit it really good, but it's right, all the instructions are right here, and it's not even that difficult to get to. So all you gotta do is go to this cave in Coward's Pass, get the artifact, and then bring it to Lemuret. You can go further through Coward's Pass, past Reed's Redoubt. You can go back down south, even if you want to somehow, to go back towards Arcadia Farms. It doesn't matter, as long as the thing gets to Lemuret, because I'll give you the name of some contacts of mine, and then you just take it to them, and you can collect a huge reward.
Chris just like looks at the two of you.
I turn to Grizz and I say, I don't know if helping a thief is within protocol.
I don't suppose it is, but at the same time, neither is our bloodshed at the hands of these corpsemen.
You're absolutely right. I'm not interested in that. We should discuss it. It's getting quite dark, and we'll make a choice in the morning.
Okay. Sure. I can't stay here because I got some people following me. I think at least half a day behind me, but they're back there. And
Your situation does sound quite dire.
Those horsemen from Reed's Redoubt are relentless. They have a patrolman who's just the worst. His name is Skunk, and he sucks. He sucks so bad. So, I'm gonna have to leave you here. I'm sorry. But as it sounds like you have some pretty good paperwork all squared away, right? You with the golden glasses?
Yes.
So, I mean, as long as you fix whatever's you're out here for, right? Whatever you came out here for, it's written down that they'll have to let your friend go, and they have no choice but to do that, right?
One more question.
Yeah.
What is this artifact, and how big is it?
It's not that big. It's probably, it's like a box. It's in a box. It's a box about this big.
Safe travels, I suppose.
Okay. I can't get that much further with all this stuff on me. So if you guys want any of this, I'm just gonna dump it, and I'm gonna try and go as fast as I can.
Wait a minute.
What do they dump?
Wait a second before you leave.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
I must.
Yes.
You stay right there just for a second, and I must speak with my companions real quick. Just hold tight.
Okay, I'll be right here. Just
I'll,
taking off. She's just taking off like a pack and getting stuff out of her pockets. You feel little bits of paper and stuff.
I'll just lean and say, this is the whole thing about we go in there, get somebody stole some stuff, and just say, right, yeah. Yeah, okay. We're on the same page, so what are we gonna do? I'll leave it in your hand. It's a lot of stuff you have there.
Yeah, I can't carry it all.
Yeah, right. I don't think it's in our best interest to touch that stuff. Go ahead, Grizz.
Is it stolen, the things you have on you?
What? No,
Or
of
is
course
it
not.
something that anyone would tie to you as a person?
No, it's. You can see exactly what it is. There's 3 items of food there. There's a small like camp stove, like camp kit, cooking kit. You can see a couple of supplies. There's a worthless supply and a petty supply. Just little packs.
Upon seeing the usefulness of these items, Pippet will become very pragmatic and just start picking through these things.
Sure.
Picking up the petty supplies and one of the food rations.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I can dispose of those later.
Yeah. You add those two. You add 2 worthless supplies and 1 petty supply to your inventory, and you can add a ration bar too.
I'll do that. And I'll turn to Twill and say, please pick a better line of profession.
Yeah. Yes. Are you a
don't
Are you a biologist?
I am.
You are
very
a biologist?
astute.
I'm a biologist too.
That is absolutely fascinating.
Isn't that fun? Look, we both have vitriols. You like vitriols?
Oh. Do I know vitriols?
And I'm curious to see what they have. They do kind of pull me in with that. They distract me.
Yeah. So there's I got all kinds of stuff. What's your vitriol, right? I've got some drip. You know what drip is?
Ooh. I'm sure I do, but please explain it to my friends here.
Yeah, drip is really fun. So basically, it's a kind of neurotoxin, and it comes off of this flower. And what it does is it gives people the sensation that they're incredibly physically weak. But it doesn't stop there, because if it's really concentrated, it begins to give you the sensation that your whole body is on fire.
Fascinating.
It gets into your system, like in your nervous system, and it just gets everywhere inside your body systemically. So if you aerosolize this at a person, it will, if it's strong enough, it will literally make them in enough pain to kill them. Like it will kill someone with enough pain if it's strong enough.
I excitedly talk about the components that they use to make this and how I've been doing my own research to amplify it, but just petty conversation.
Yeah, totally.
And if they're not trying to carry it with them, I will absolutely take it. If they want to, I gotta remember what I have in my pack. But if there's stuff that, it seems like they're dumping things, so I'm not sure if they want anything else.
Twill happily writes down the formula for drip and hands it to you, and you can make this whenever you have the appropriate amount of supply for it. You can make drip. And
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I got a ton of these. I had this one special, but I have a couple of others. I've got some weaker ones. Here's a weak one. You know what? Here's an average one too. You can take this average one as well.
I take these.
This
and
one,
I look back at the party and I'm like,
they're amazing now. I'm very happy with their presence. They could do nothing wrong. But there was another, they said?
yes, this one is. It's just a little. This one's a little different. Don't be very careful with it because it's. Well, it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
You can see it. It's a little bit bigger of a container, but it also looks like it has a big plunger on the top of it, and it seems to be tiered in like two separate chambers. You can see liquid sloshing around in the bottom chamber and some kind of solid in the top, and it's glowing a little bit.
I love that.
Oh,
I should know what it is.
So you know exactly that the top chamber is something that you've only really read about, and it's heavily concentrated salts. This would be a kind of salt, and it's crumbly, and it glows a little bit in the dark. It's biologic salts. And
I love it.
What it does is it amplifies whatever is in the container below. And you have a pretty good idea of what's in the container below. She told you it's drip. And there's a plunger on the top. And you suspect, Pliers, you would probably know that this is an aerosolizer type of device, right?
Yes.
You know a detonator when you see one.
That's fascinating.
This one's a little special, sorry.
Fascinating.
And this is all
you can do.
This makes me antsy. I guess it wouldn't hurt if we take some stuff.
Pliers, you collect one worthless supply and one petty supply and one common supply. And Candace, Grizz, you can also collect a worthless supply and a petty supply. The three of you have this camping kit that you can use amongst yourselves if you'd like. You'll just have to pick who gets to carry it. It's 3 pounds.
Oh.
So, as you're all discussing the finer points of drip, you think they're back this way? I don't know, I can't tell. It just hardly seems like anything lives out here. You see any sign of them? No, I can't see anything. You can hear the corpsemen in a big column ambling down the road. Twill looks to all of you and says, shh, shh. Get down, get down.
Down.
Hold up here for a minute. Just gotta take a leak.
Put off my light.
One of the corpsemen begins wandering off the trail towards you. I would need everybody to make a stalk or concealment roll. Whichever one you feel like it would be better for you.
assume. Okay, that's a 2. It's a 2d6.
Oh no.
Okay, that is
21.
Plus 5. Oh, no. It's an 11.
Hey, you guys! I think I see something shining out here. Some kind of sparkling thing. It's just a night fairy. No, it's something else. Come here. Twill looks to all of you. And just says, Go. Twill stands up with the detonator still in hand and holds her hands up and just says, Whoa! She's walking away towards this huge group of corpsemen. She says, you know what this is? It looks kind of like a bottle of drip, doesn't it? In fact, it's a vitriolic detonator. And when I push this plunger, all the biologic salts at the top are gonna drop down into the refined drip. You ever been stung by drip, boys? It's excruciating. When this vitriolic detonator goes, you will not die quickly. It'll be the most searing, painful, bloody wounds you have ever experienced, all distilled down into the final moments of your wretched little lives. You have never known pain, but you will. Do you guys try to make an escape?
Heck yeah, I'm out of there.
Absolutely. Also, she's our best friend now.
All right. You guys manage to expertly, deftly trip over yourselves and break as many sticks along the way, and it doesn't matter because every single one of these 12 corpsemen are completely fixated on Twill, who is getting further and further behind you as your hearts are pounding. You're trying to escape as quietly as you can, and you do manage to do so. Barely.
I wonder if they're gonna be okay. Oh,
I mean, she seems to be able to handle herself.
won't be around much longer if they press that button.
I calculate the radius of, what that vial could do, and I do the math, and I kind of shrug and I say,
Maybe.
Hey, but
We'll know soon enough.
You would probably know that a device of that size with that much biologic salt in it would probably have more than enough power to decimate that entire column of, that's a pretty big bomb.
yeah. Hopefully they don't get caught in the blast as well.
We'll know soon enough. But we can't help unless we're okay ourselves. We should keep moving.
Yeah. Can't help but feel that keep getting set up.
Yes.
The commotion behind you fades away into the distance, and you keep your current trajectory on towards Baldwin's Folly. We'll be right back after these very short messages. Before we go, be sure to follow the stream here at twitch.tv/FableScraps. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are consumed. Check out our merch store. Join the Discord. You can support us at our merch store monthly, and that will get you access to our super cool podcast called Leftovers, where you can hear some of the thoughts and feelings of our exemplary crew here today, along with some of the Q&A special stuff that I and some of the other creators of Issliss will be talking about. So check out the merch store. Support us there with a monthly subscription and get access to Leftovers. And if you want to play Issliss at home, it's super easy to do. All you got to do is head over to fablescraps.com, sign up for the newsletter, and get yourself the free quick play guide. It's super fun. There's tons of lore and artwork and pre-generated characters and a little encounter even, so you can run this game at home. Check it out. We'll be right back after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Issliss, Season 1. My name is Veronica Ripley, creator of Issliss, and I'm very happy to have you here. Be sure to check out the merch store. The Fable Scraps merch store has a bunch of cool stuff in it now, like this hoodie. You can get this and so much more at merch.fablescraps.com. You can even support us there with a subscription and gain access to our very exclusive podcast called Leftovers. It's a quick little roundup we do after each show where we discuss what happened in the show, the characters' feelings, the players' ideas and thoughts, and a little Q&A with the creators. And I'm just very excited about it. So check it out at merch.fablescraps.com. Be sure to join our Discord as well for some cool sneak peeks. We have some new stuff on the horizon at Fable Scraps. We're going to do a new show starting at the end of this month. It's like a mystery themed, like a goofy mystery themed type of show. It's called the Enigma Society, and I'm very excited about it. We got a lot of cool stuff we're going to share about it starting at the Discord. So be sure you're in there. Without further ado, the Cell has just experienced the biggest, weirdest event of a random stranger named Twill, who has distracted a column of corpsemen with a seemingly dangerous device, a vitriolic detonator. You are now tasked with making your way to Baldwin's Folly, a small reservoir up these hills into this base of this mountain, because something has been poisoning this reservoir. It's killing things back in Arcadia Farms, and you know that if you can fix this poison, it's written down in writing that Leef will get to go free. And you're almost there. So what do you do?
Well, I understand Twill's concern, but we should still cover our butts and do what we set out to do.
Yes, I agree.
Excellent. Now, I'm not an engineer. I have no idea how to fix an aqueduct, but...
I could probably do it if there were supplies.
Excellent. Okay, let's move in.
Yes. But before we go, there was mention of some kind of leakage of poisons, maybe? But if you were to, I don't know, see it, will you be able to identify it, and maybe we can make a counteragent of some sort?
Absolutely. I'll be able to resolve that when we come across it.
Excellent. Well, let's be on our way. Let's not keep Leaf waiting.
Okay. Grizz, do you have any thoughts here?
Grizz knows that they don't really have the tools to do any kind of like physical fixing of the area, but she is trying to kind of keep an eye out for any other surprises, understanding that this is clearly a setup, clearly an ambush. So if this was also part of the ambush, like if the corpsemen at Ingman's request messed with this, that there might be people kind of laying in wait for us. So I think that's really what they're busying themselves doing, is trying to kind of go over in their mind how to be diplomatic and how to kind of keep things from getting too out of hand if we do encounter anything like that on our way, or while we're doing what needs to be done.
Okay. So you're all on your way up this hill. The sun is not setting, but it is getting there. The air is a little colder. It begins to get a little bit more crisp. You begin to feel it in your nostrils and your throat. The smell here is outstanding. It's crisp air. It's not something you're really used to. You're used to smelling just the fumes of like the cult plants and all the gross things you've been dealing with, fester berries and all that back at Arcadia Farms. But here, the air is clean and the air is different. You hear skittering in the woods, but it doesn't seem dangerous yet.
What are our surroundings?
You have a canal, man-made canal on the side of you, to the right side. The woods, the canopy, is to your left with some tall grasses. And you're going up a hill. These are like foothills, so you're beginning to feel it, like in your calves and your thighs and stuff. You're definitely like going up elevation here.
And I'm assuming there's water running through this canal.
Oh, yeah. You're starting to see that there's more and more water.
Awesome. When I look at this water, it looks perfectly normal, correct?
It looks normal, yeah. You could probably take a sample of it and check it.
That's what I do.
Okay, yeah, you do. You manage to scoop a little bit of this water out. And it's in one of your flasks. You have the sample. You have a little testing kit on you, like some testing papers. And you do notice that there is a lot coming back about this water that would make it unsafe. Like, you can see some sediment and debris. You can see that it's got some kind of vitriol in it. You're not exactly sure what it is. But you do know that it is not safe to drink.
And from what I know from vitriols and their like concentration, we can follow it's even easier. The river's flowing opposite of the way that we're going.
That's right. Yeah, you're going
So
we'll be against the current, yeah.
Let's keep going against. I tell the group, let's keep going against the current. We'll find the source hopefully along the way.
Sure. This is a road, and you're used to roads, but it's not one that's been kept up very well. There's a lot of cracks and crevices, and it just doesn't seem like it's traveled very often. You get the sense that people just don't come up here very much. Maybe they used to, but they don't anymore. You're traveling along this canal for what seems like ages, before you come to a huge clearing at the base of this mountain. The sheer cliffs on the side are casting half of it into shadow. And along the rest of this clearing are grasses and a reservoir, a big reservoir. The water is crystal clear. You can see birds, you see a white rest, this big 6-foot-tall bird. It hunts, you know that it hunts little weasels and worms. It hunts daskas, hangs out near holes in trees. It's aggressive normally, but it's not aggressive towards you. It's just existing out here. You can see the sun low in the sky, getting lower, and you're struck by just the utmost sense of beauty of this place. Serene. You are now in Baldwin's Folly.
As we move further out, I turn to the group and I'll say,
now, the opposition that we've seen, that's only what Twill saw. We still need to be vigilant and careful.
Grizz sort of kind of turns around in a circle, and you see they're kind of walking kind of backward for a little while, and then turning around, walking frontward for a little while, kind of keeping up the back as the two of you kind of lead a little bit. Do we see those corpsemen yet? Do they can we see them off in the distance, since this area seems kind of flat?
No, you don't see any corpsemen, because they were the ones who were coming down the road. You get the sense that that column of corpsemen that Twill was talking about had made their way down the column and had made their way down the road, and that was accosting you before.
Wow. Oh, so those are the ones that were chasing her, right? Not the ones that were waiting for us.
Those were just corpsemen that were here already.
Okay.
She said there was only one corpseman who was chasing her.
Okay.
While Grizz is looking around and having, just forming these questions in their mind, I'll take another sample of the water.
Sure. Yeah, you see that the what's coming back from your testing seems to be more concentrated, heavily concentrated here.
And it's not fully, it wouldn't be fully, but is it alarming enough to where I'm like, oh, yeah, it's really thick here?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to drink this stuff. It's pretty gross.
I look around for any signs of contamination in the water, if there's a source nearby.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a biology check? In fact, every one of you can give me a biology check or a bushcraft check, whichever one is
sweet.
Whichever one is better.
Definitely not bush. Ooh.
Oh, wow, Pippin.
Okay, here we go. That's gonna be
It's a 15.
This is going to be plus 7.
Okay.
13.
Yeah, I think several of you can spot on the other side of the reservoir, just into the shadows a little bit, you can see some kind of carcass, a massive carcass, halfway out of the water on the banks.
Oh.
Oh my.
That's disgusting.
We should make our way there.
Is there any way to get around this? Will we have to cross through the water, or?
No, you can walk around. Yeah, you can walk around.
Excellent.
The side. Yeah.
We would approach, well, I would approach cautiously, but I would lead because I'm also sickly curious. And as we get closer, can we get a description of what this might be?
Yeah, absolutely. So the serenity and beauty of this place is kind of shockingly broken up by the smell. There's a distinct corpse type of odor, just rotting flesh. Days old, you suspect. And moreover, Pippet, you would understand this smell to be rotting flesh, like mammal flesh, which is unusual. There aren't very many mammals here.
Oh my.
I look at this mammal. I wonder, does it have hooves? Does it have fur?
As you get closer, you can begin to see that its large, bloated body, much larger than yourself, has matted fur, yes, and long ears.
Oh my.
I described this to our group here, and I get bold enough. I want to protect my hands somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have any pliers, excuse the pun.
Here.
Yes.
Could we collect a sample?
Yes.
This is not a fresh corpse. It is one that is very dead and very bloated and has been here for a very long time.
Ooh.
In fact,
can I estimate?
As you begin to kneel down by this thing, the smell is just exhausting you.
No, I can't.
You kneel.
It's precious.
You kneel down and you can see its flat face and long teeth. Just the lips being pulled back by dehydration and bloat. You can see the long two front teeth of this thing. Normally, you're used to seeing a creature like this in a very cute way. These are called fluves, and they're very common in the Platelands. They're often raised as livestock. They're a type of rabbit. They're grown by humans in ranches and sold to major cities, like Lemuret. And this one probably got out, escaped somehow, and ended up here. Do you want to continue your investigation?
I turn to the group and I say,
Someone's lost pet.
and it's bigger than us.
It's bigger than you, yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably, you could probably contain all three of you.
Oh.
It's a huge, disgusting creature, and it's only disgusting now because it's very dead, but in life, this thing was probably adorable.
Do we know what killed it?
We continue the investigation.
Sure. Let's see, what relevant skill? I guess it would be a biology check, huh? Do you have an ability for this? Let's see. Field medic, knockdown, specialized senses. You know what? I'll say that because you rolled so good on biology, you don't have to make a check for this. You do just see that this thing probably drowned. It doesn't have any outward marks that are consistent with predators like you would expect. Like there's nothing went for the jugular, nothing tried to kill it. But what you do notice, out of the corner of your eye, is a weird incision along the belly. Definitely post-mortem.
How big is this incision?
It goes along the length of the fluve.
I will, regrettably, start to unseam it.
Yeah. As you peel back the flap of skin along this thing's belly, you begin to see movement inside.
I step back.
Oh.
What emerges...
Is everything all right?
What emerges from the creature's belly are a number of carrion turtles. Tiny ones, babies, just... 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. This thing just keeps popping out. Carrion turtles. They
Does anyone know about these?
What would it be?
You would...
Biology, right?
Yeah, it'd be a biology check.
All right. Yeah.
Would you like me to make another one?
Yeah, go ahead. Anyone who has a relevant skill, go ahead and make a biology check.
Holy moly. That is a 18, excuse me.
12.
Yeah, you all know that carrion turtles are something, they're nature's cleanup crew. They come along when something has died in the water, usually, where the flesh is softened up by the bloat. And they lay their eggs inside of carrion, inside of dead things, so that their babies have something to eat before they too go off and find more carrion. But you know,
I can deduce. Oh, please.
Oh, yeah, you know these things don't eat living flesh. They only eat carrion.
I can deduce that this incision was probably made by a mother carrion turtle.
Yeah.
I step up and I step back after seeing these turtles emerge.
And I say, I've deduced it. This creature escaped and drowned and perished, and these turtles have made a home within. Doesn't seem anything nefarious happened here.
Except
So it's just gross then, but in a natural way.
it's contaminated in the water as well. But hopefully these nature's little cleaning crew would clean it all up. Hopefully.
We would hope so.
I take another sample of the water, hoping to actually identify what this concoction / vitriol / substance would be.
Sure. You know the carrion turtles just excrete along their bodies a layer of mucus. It's extremely toxic and it's acidic, so it helps break down the carrion that they eat. It also is very toxic to humans, so drinking it in like a reservoir is not advised.
And these are the culprits.
And I will look at the party and say,
We should clear this creature out. And careful, do not touch these turtles. They're very acidic. We need to figure out a way to remove them from the aqueduct.
Do you have any way
Are
of
there
dissolving the body faster?
No, you suspect adding more acid's only going to make the problem worse.
I say exactly that.
Yeah.
Regardless,
any,
we'll have to remove it.
Are there grasses in this area, like long grass or
Yeah.
anything? Like kind of...
Yeah, there's
Because I
long,
think
like pampas
what,
grass type stuff.
I think that's what Grizz would try to do, is start collecting some of that grass to see if they can make kind of like a net situation, or like something that is kind of, that'll gather everything up.
Yeah.
Knowing that this body has been sitting in this water for a long time, we can't just pull it out. It's gonna probably break down, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you gather some grasses together, and then you make a little crafting check. That'll be a bushcraft check.
Okay.
Any of you can make this check too.
Okay.
12.
Did you say 12? Fantastic. Okay, yeah. You know what you do? You manage pretty easily to weave a big bundle of these grasses together into what amounts to like a single-use net. It's not very strong, but it is enough of a barrier between you and this disgusting carcass to be able to push it and pull it, if all three of you work together, out of the water.
Oh.
I'll happily oblige.
Sure.
Now, these turtles aren't like territorial or anything, right? They come after us?
No.
Not as
Okay,
I'm
great.
aware.
Oh, that's good. Ugh.
Imagine them kind of just... What would you say when worms crawl through the mound? They're like that.
Equally disgusting. As long as they stay in their place, I will stay in mine.
Yeah. You successfully drag this massive, bloated carcass of this floof out of the banks of Baldwin's Folly and place it a ways away from the banks. The carrion turtles follow it out of the water and back into the safety and warmth of the carcass.
This does make me kind of shiver just a little bit,
Yeah, it's great.
but that's nature.
What next?
Ugh. Oh, we still have to make our way to the aqueduct.
This is the reservoir.
This is it.
Yeah, this is
okay, I just want to make sure. Well, this is the thing that's been causing issues. There's got to be something else.
Pipit will sit back and just kind of observe the situation. She's gotten samples of the water,
Yeah.
but also reflecting on what's waiting for us back at Arcadia Farms. And just ponder for a little bit on what the best course of action is.
Yeah, sure. That's reasonable. So you're
Just kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you're
We've
at
done
the-
what we've had to do.
at the
Yeah.
banks of this beautiful reservoir. You can see before you, lower in the valley, what appears to be the edges of Arcadia Farms way off in the distance. You can see the walls and the buildings. You can even see the segmented forms of the rest of Arcadia Farms, because you're familiar with Tazco, the Tazco corporate exclusion zone, but you can see other corporate exclusion zones too, and some of them look much nicer. But you can also see, in the opposite direction, at the base of this mountain, another road, a less used one. And it's a little further up. It continues its path up this mountain through what appears to be a canyon. And you know this, based on your conversation with Twill, to be Coward's Pass.
So, what was she saying? A left and then a right and then a right and then a left.
It's all written down on your map. You would know. You know that there's a cave out that way. And inside of that cave is stashed a box.
Do we see anyone patrolling this area looking for
No.
Twill? Okay. Does Grizz know why it's called Coward's Pass? Like the history or lore of this place?
Probably not.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh no.
I think I'm going to start speaking up a little bit more because I had time to think, and I'm like, Jarrell said there was like around 12 of them, correct? They were at the aqueduct, and there was a creature there. They didn't do anything about said creature. Creature had a strange way of dying there. It was an incision, if you will, across the creature. It has been there for a while. something doesn't add up. You would think they would move it. It would take 12 people to move that. Why would he send us to go there if there was 12 already there to move that thing, and maybe they placed it there themselves? I'm uneasy about this. I'm about ready to report.
I also sit back and think on this too a little bit, but Pippet deduces that it's because we're expendable. That's ultimately where she lands. But she's also ready to report. But I look at Pliers and I say,
how do we return safely to the farms without causing any more corpsemen attention and mishaps?
Well,
I mean, I don't know that we... Do we go back to the farms?
Well, we probably can, but you're not going to like my answer. Now, if I do go with what my plan is, it's kind of like a last thing. I may not survive that plan, but the thing is that we have to be absolutely sure before we do anything that's been going through my mind. You see, I'm an extremist. I like to I can always call in the clients. And I don't know if that's going to be smart because, well, it might not just stop at that person, it could stop at all of us. Things have gotten wrong, and I have been personally told, Pippet, you're now in on this conversation. If I'm being watched, it's already known. Anything out of the ordinary is supposed to be reported directly to the Cassats.
Oh my.
There's been a lot of
weight.
Yeah. And if I can't, well, provide real proof, then it's not going to be good for anyone.
Let's look at the paths laid ahead of us. That does sound like a Hail Mary decision. We could do as Twill said and go through Coward's Pass. If I remember correctly, it does lead back to the farms. Maybe we find safe haven and then return later?
Yeah. First things first, we need to get with Leef, but there's a reason why I asked for blood samples instead of just handing them something that can record on the device, is because the Cassat at least, based on their patterns, can probably smell who this is and identify through biosignatures.
Very intelligent.
I try.
I concur. Very good collateral. Then we should hold on to this for as long as we can before we make any drastic decisions.
Yes.
it's starting to get dark, right? Like, is it still, it's not quite setting?
It's afternoon.
Okay.
You're just at the base of these mountains, so it seems darker than it is.
Okay. And we already know that there was some activity happening. I turn to Grizz and I turn to Pliers. And I say, which way do we go? Are we going to walk through this pass? I've never been this way myself, I'm assuming. I've come here, but not through Coward's Pass.
Not many people have come through Coward's Pass. No, in fact, you weren't entirely certain it was a real place. On the maps that you all have, you know that the main road that goes from Arcadia to Lemuret has a few towns in between it. And there's not really a whole lot known about Coward's Pass, but you would expect, based on just your average knowledge of geology and basic map reading skills, that this Coward's Pass probably goes all the way to Reed's Redoubt, which is on the other side of this mountain range.
I'll leave it to you. You understand our overlords more than I could in any capacity other than war. But if you find any value in retrieving the artifact that Twill laid down their lives for, even protecting us, then maybe we should see that through.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Something of that.
When the water clears, they'll know we did our jobs.
Who knows?
The water should be clear when, with enough time. Yes, you are more the more educated in that realm than I am, but I think within a few days, right? It should clear?
The good news
It will
is,
take some time. Yes.
if we go back to the farms, we can see what actually happened. Because if said party thinks that we're dead, that might be in our benefit. So yes, getting this artifact will be good. It's something else that we can have under our belts. If anything, we could use it as a bargaining chip with the, you know who, if things go bad.
I like it. Let's prepare.
And I'll just check all our supplies and
Yeah, everything looks in
we
order.
should. Awesome. And we deduce how long this trip would take us.
There's not really a way to know. But you do know that your destination within Coward's Pass is a cave.
Yes. Okay. We gather all our things and we'll try our best to get to that cave before the sun sets.
Sure. That makes sense. So you begin to pack up your things. You're getting ready to get back on the road. And you're walking away from this serene place, which just has this aura of ancient knowledge. This beautiful reservoir at the base of these mountains. And you get back on this road. The forest sounds kind of fall behind you. You begin to hear the whistling sounds of wind. It gets a little chillier. Maybe you pull your clothes a little tighter. The air is crisper here, and there seems to be less in it. You feel yourself breathing harder, even though you're used to not having to do so. The terrain is rockier. It's a little more craggled and tiered. There aren't exactly steps here, but there is something of a road. It winds back and forth in some switchbacks in some places, and you get kind of winded. But on either side of you are huge canyons. This massive mountain range on either side, and up at the top you can see some snow up there.
At least their description was accurate.
Does anyone have any thoughts?
I think right now I'm just in survival mode. I kind of want to get it done as quickly as possible.
Sure.
And see what it leads to. But I'm definitely curious about this artifact. I just want to look that over.
Sure. Yeah, as you're walking along through this canyon pass, you're struck with this sense of impending, of some impending event. Your heart begins to beat a little faster.
Doom! Doom!
And off in the distance, you see a figure walking towards you.
I have my walking cane in hand, of course, obviously.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they already seen us.
The road is
Riz tries
thin
to
enough.
kind of squint or narrow their vision to see if there's any way to detect at least what kind of person is walking toward them.
It's a human. It's just a human. You know that they're wearing some kind of uniform. And the road is narrow enough, there's not really a place you can jump off of the road to not be seen.
Okay.
I pull out my glaive, but hold it non-threateningly.
Sure. You keep walking towards this figure. This figure keeps walking towards you, and in a little while, you're within earshot of a corpseman. One in a uniform you're not necessarily quite as familiar with. They have a big sun hat on, a big dumb hat, big pack on their back, and better looking boots. They're carrying a great big stick, just a massive great staff, and they're using it to climb their way along this path. They're huffing, They're red in the face. Their nose is red from exertion. They've got a little scarf around their face. They pull it down. And they're just... Hi.
Hello.
You, Are
you quite all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Just, such a... Hate cowards pass! You hear... I hate cowards pass!
Yes, I can understand. It is quite bleak.
You folks seen anybody along the road? You see anybody suspicious?
Besides
You're the first
yourself?
person we've seen in miles. I look around at the others.
Yeah, you do look quite suspicious. No offense.
What?
I mean,
Not in a bad way, just in a, you're new to us and we've been quite alone on the road for some time.
What did you say to me?
that you looked quite suspicious.
I chime in and say, that hat is very peculiar.
Oh, the hat? Ah, it's a patrol hat.
Scarf? The thing that was around your mouth and the way you were walking. It looked
I'm
suspicious.
sorry. Is this place not absolutely cold enough for you?
You gotta stop yelling.
I hate it.
You
I
heard of rock
hate it here.
slides?
I hate it here.
Sound vibrates. Rock slides do happen. You can cause issues.
Look, I need to
There
know
you
if you
are.
guys saw anybody. There should have been someone coming down this road. I've been tracking them for days.
Yeah? Tell me what they look like.
They were about this tall, a bunch of buckles and things all over them.
Buckles.
They're carrying a box.
A box? What kind of box?
It's a box.
I mean, we
It's
haven't
just a
seen
box.
anyone like that. but-
It's just a box. I'm looking for him. Have you seen anybody like that?
I mean, is that all you got? And I'll just like zoom in. I need a little bit more.
I don't think I like your tone.
Oh. Well, then we'll be on our way.
Hang on just a minute there. I'd like to see some papers.
Papers.
Yeah, papers.
Well,
If you folks carrying any kind of currency on you, I'll need to see that too. Make sure it's available, visible at all times. I'd like to see some papers.
papers. Okay. I'll
If it pulls out their papers.
I'll dig through my papers and I'll say I'll dig through my assignment. I'll pull out my assignment where I was supposed to, who I report to and everything. And I'm like, oh, here you go. You keep that. I got plenty copies of it already.
Papers?
Grizz does the same with the little scrap that they were sent to Arcadia Farms with.
Okay. And you, Goggles, you got papers for me that's not just
Goggles.
this?
I handed you my papers. There's my assignments right here.
I need your
And,
identification. Your identification. Please
Sure,
don't make
sure.
this harder. I
just want to make sure you
just
know who
wanna go to
I
sleep.
report to. And here's the identification. Yes, go for it. Feel free.
They're rifling through your documents, looking and cross-checking. They're asking you questions. Is this really you? They ask you details about what's on your papers, what your birthdays are, all of that. They hand your papers back in a clump. All right. Now, before I fine you, have you seen somebody about this tall walking around suspiciously? Maybe they had a box, maybe they didn't, doesn't matter. Have you seen anybody like this? They had buckles all over them.
No, but you're right, they do sound quite suspicious. We shall keep an eye out.
You know what sounds suspicious to me? Is all these questions and all these people. I'm very suspicious right now. I'm so suspicious. And it sucks out here. I hate it.
We've
Can I
seen
try
a
to
score of-
persuade him to
Yes.
calm?
Yeah, you can. You should know that Patrolman Skunk has a passive, and the passive is this. Cell members must re-roll their highest die in persuasion tests against Skunk.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty high.
All right, so that's, you got, let's see, you have 5, 5, and 4, so go ahead and roll me a 1d6. Okay, so 4, 4, and 5. Is that 8? 13 plus whatever your persuasion is?
7.
7. 13 plus 7 is 20. Patrolman Skunk looks to you, Grizz, and just says, I can't do this for very much longer. I hate everything about this. Did you see anybody?
No, you seem so upset. I'm so sorry. We can't help. We haven't seen anyone.
You notice
You must be miserable.
that Patrolman Skunk's hand has moved a little bit lower on the great staff. Like they might be getting ready to use it.
Oh yeah, I was already loading my
Now.
cane. That's what I was doing.
I think, Grizz immediately kind of puts up their hand when they see that.
You
Wait.
all know that between the three of you, you could probably take Patrolman Skunk. Probably. 3-on-1, middle of nowhere. It's just you three against him.
Can I use, before we, jump into throwing down, can I use my call-out skill
Share it in the
to
chat.
try to give him a little bit of stress?
So, if you would like, you can't use call out unless we're already in combat. But if you would like, we could enter a phase of combat known as showdown, where combat is inevitable, but you have an opportunity to sway the combat in your favor.
Yes, please.
Are we committed to combat?
Where?
I was trying to avoid it, but
Yeah.
here we are.
There may yet be a way out of it. So it's up to you guys. If you want to commit to combat, then we can enter the showdown phase. Otherwise, we can continue as we are.
The clothing that this gentleman is wearing, that it is not the same as the farms.
No, it wouldn't be. The corporate
Okay.
exclusion zone corpsmen are a little different.
All right, I do have an idea of who and what this person is looking for, but I play dumb, of course. Not my strongest suit because I'm very big-brained. Yeah, I'll can I detect anything about them? Are they shaking? Do they look something like physically or health-wise wrong with them?
Make me a detect check.
All right. I am proficient in this. Let me. That is a 9 plus 4.
No, you don't notice anything. I mean, you all you notice is that they're pretty big. They're pretty big. Beefy.
So I don't understand. We answer your questions, show you our papers, everything checks out, but you're still. Well.
What are you folks doing up here in Coward's Pass? What are you doing up here? Where are you going? Where's your destination?
I leave that to Grizz.
So before I reply, does this have a way to get back to Arcadia Farms?
No, you know that Coward's Pass goes. Like, you can deduce that it goes to Reed's Redoubt.
Got it. Okay. We have just come from our orders, fixing this aqueduct right behind us, and we wanted to know where this bloated carcass that has been poisoning our water supply came from. We thought we'd travel through the pass, get to Reed's Redoubt, and report this animal missing. It seems to perhaps belong to someone over in that part of the area.
What
Why are
kind
you
of
so
animal was
suspicious
it?
of us? Well, it was, I'm not quite well versed in these things, but it was a large... That's it.
You're telling me a fluve came from Reed's Redoubt all the way back there, up through the mountains, along Coward's Pass, and came all the way down to Baldwin's Folly to die?
Well, I know it sounds unusual.
Yes, but we have the samples to prove it.
Also, is there a river? The river, or what is it? The river, I guess. Doesn't that flow all the way down?
From you would know that it flows from Baldwin's Folly down to Arcadia Farms. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's where we found it. So yeah, it could have died up, and then made its way down. And when it got stuck, oh boy, was it disgusting. We could take you to it if you want. I mean, if you really want to see it.
Yes, there were carrion turtles everywhere. It was absolutely revolting. And please understand, Sir Corpseman, we have no need to lie to you in this moment. We have the samples. We have the papers. How else can we help?
All right. I'm too tired for any of this. The corpseman picks himself up a little bit and takes his walking stick and just starts going back, continuing on past you, and just says, I'm gonna see if your story checks out in Arcadia Farms, and if it doesn't, I'm coming back. I promise you.
You
it's not
do
the
that.
last time you've seen Corpseman skunk.
Yeah. Okay. He's loud. They're very loud. Make sure you check the carcass. And if you put your hand in his belly area.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna yell because I don't want rock slides happening. Vibration sound.
I wait for the corpseman to disappear.
Same.
Okay, the corpseman
these guys
keeps going, and after a while, you can just see the little tiny blip of a corpseman way off in the distance going around a corner, and they're gone.
Well, that was harrowing.
Yes,
You should keep moving. Let's follow that map.
I guess I should unload this. I'm just gonna try out a new sample.
Yeah. So as you're continuing to go along Coward's Pass, Grizz, you have the distinct feeling that Corpseman Skunk is probably going to go tell everyone in Arcadia Farms that 3 suspicious people were seen walking through Coward's Pass.
What are you gonna do?
But we were so kind and not that suspicious.
The most suspicious people in the world.
That's the thing I was gonna say. We gave way too much information.
The most
They already know.
suspicious people in the world.
They're already looking
We were
for
just
us.
doing our job.
Yeah, they already know that we're out. Exactly. People got it right.
Maybe he shouldn't have poisoned our head corpseman. Might have had an easier time. Then we could have taken them out, but we love a good revenge story.
Pippet, honestly, I mean, he asked me for the remains or proof that we had done our jobs, and I just handed it to him. It's not
love
my
it.
fault that he smushed it into his wound.
I was very tickled by this. You will not find any resistance from me. You made the right choice.
Yep. Agreed.
So,
Well, we just...
What was that? Go ahead.
No, just saying, we've got to keep our noses clean.
You're all making your way through Coward's Pass. It's beginning to get dark, and as you do so, you know from your map that you're getting closer and closer to what Twill described as a cave. So you're looking up into the walls of this canyon. And lo and behold, at this designated spot, you do end up seeing a small incline up the side of this cliff that you probably could scramble up. The terrain has gotten rockier. There's bigger boulders here. There's more cover and more bits and pieces of gravel that can fall and make noises, but you feel a little bit like you've found the place. How do you proceed?
If we're
I think
correct.
my first move is to check,
Yes.
make sure there's no one watching. Or
Scout
creatures
it out.
waiting. Yeah.
I make sure that we're in the right place for sure, just pointing out on the map. But I will not be able to retrieve the item if I have to climb.
Yeah, you're all reasonably certain that this is probably the place that's listed on the map, yeah. So, you all begin to climb up the side, to scrabble up the side of this cliff side, this mountainous little incline. It's not really meant to be climbed. Like, it's not a stairs. It's not meant, for any actual use. It's just the side of this cliff. I'll need everybody to make me a climbing check.
Oh boy.
This is what I feared.
Not my specialty at all. Okay, that's a 2d6. Yeah.
That's an 11 for Grizz.
Oh yeah, man. That's a
Ooh.
it's a 12.
Ooh, wow, all right. So,
I did the best.
Pippin did the best here.
I was the most afraid, but I rolled 2 6s.
Yeah. You're along the side of this cliff in the zone. You have every idea that you know exactly where one hand goes and one foot goes and how they all fit together in this grand puzzle piece that is your brain. Out here on the side of this cliff, alone against the elements, you, Pippet, have figured out climbing. Just for the briefest period of time, you feel completely at ease along the side of this cliff. Your companions are a little bit farther behind you.
Dying! Not really at all. Barely got off the ground.
Just don't look down, Pliers. We've got this. Pivot.
The ground is so
Some
close.
words of inspiration, please. The tree
It's just
was
like
much
Leef had
less
taught
scary.
us. It's just, if you've watched Leef for even one instance, you just have to emulate them. Get into their brain. Get into the zone.
Tentacles.
They've got a tentacle arm.
It wasn't like that before we met y'all. That's actually, that's another story.
Oh no.
You know what? Maybe
I'm demotivated. Go without me.
I tell them what I learned about Leef before they got their new arm and how they used to move. And hopefully that can inspire them.
Sure. Yeah. You relay that information. You're all
Feeling very
climbing.
inspired.
You're all climbing the side of this cliff. It's a little cold. You can feel the stress in your joints and your fingers. And you're getting more and more just exhausted. But as you see Pippet climb the top, throw a leg over, you feel that sense in yourself that it's possible, that anything is possible here on the side of the mountain, even climbing up to the top of it. Maybe you can do it.
Give me a rope, please.
You all do manage to get to the top of the little plateau, and before you lies a cave.
We did it. I'm gonna live.
We made it.
Do we have to go down again? If we do, just throw me off the side of it. My body will be carried by the wind. I'm aerodynamic.
I helped them up over the edge.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we made it. Oh, that was easy. Okay.
A moment to rest, please. Just one moment.
While they rest, I do go to the mouth of the cave.
Yes,
Slither
look
behind.
inside.
sure.
Like a worm on the ground. Like,
You approach. You approach the cave, Pippet, and you see the small glow of a fire inside the cave, and you hear voices. Human voices.
I whispered to them,
There's someone inside. Several
did.
people.
hey, sign up for this.
Well-
Sign up for this.
She did say that she had companions that she was going to write down the names of. Perhaps these are those people.
You recall that Twill absolutely said that her companions were back in Lemaret.
Yeah, I don't think that's them.
They're not supposed to be here. Who are these people?
Can we tell how many voices we hear? Like a rough number of how many people could be in this?
You hear a few, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, I have a plan. Pippin, we smoke them out.
A wonderful plan.
Yeah,
A distraction? Catch them when they're unassuming?
Yes. When they come through, we can assess the situation, knock them out if we need to.
Absolutely.
Things happen.
They do.
I look around. Oh, go ahead.
Are corpsemen part of the people I can disguise myself as with my disguise skill?
Pop it in the chat. Let's take a look. You can disguise yourself as a different non-specific human. Well, you can't disguise yourself as a specific human. You can just disguise yourself as a different human. So probably not a specific type of like corpseman, but you could be a different human.
Well, I also have mimic.
You can accurately mimic or disguise yourself as a specific human, including mimicking their voices and mannerisms. Yeah, I mean, you could mimic the sound of a corpseman. You don't have like a corpseman uniform or anything, so it'd be pretty hard to do it visually.
I think what I'd like to do is to mimic the voice of Skunk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To say like, hey, who the hell's in there? Like,
okay.
Real terrible.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
So that hopefully they come out.
Do your best skunk impression. We'll see if it works.
I think like, do I have to roll persuade?
No, you don't have to roll. You just have to convince me.
Okay. Yeah. So I say, I'm tired. Who's in there? Come out here right now. I swear to God, if you make me come in there, there's gonna be hell to pay. I've been looking for this asshole all day.
You hear from inside the cavern a voice start to go, shh. Boys, it's a corpseman. Get him!
I'm knock him out.
And that's where we'll end today's episode. Well done,
oh my gosh.
everybody.
You keep saying that you're useless. What the hell? Useful.
Thank you, everyone, for being a part of today's show. I really appreciate it. My name is Nicotine. This is the very first season of Issliss. Here on Fable Scraps, we do this show live every Friday at noon Pacific here at twitch.tv/Fable Scraps. You can find all of our VODs here on Twitch and also on YouTube, and you can find our podcast everywhere podcasts are listened to. Head over to our website for if you would like to play Issliss at your table at home right now. You can get a free copy of our quick play guide, and it's got tons of lore and artwork and rules and pre-generated characters and even a little encounter so you can have fun using Issliss at your table today. Check out our merch store if you would like to support Fable Scraps. You can subscribe to us here on Twitch or go to the merch store and subscribe to us there. You can gain access to some pretty cool podcast content. We offer the podcast called Leftovers to all of our subscribers at our merch store, so check that out, where you can also get hoodies like this one and bowling shirts and mugs and all kinds of other stuff. Join our Discord to discuss Issliss and all of our other shows, and we will see you again next week here at Fable Scraps. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.